How dare she? What that story is, I don't know yet. I may have just purchased books 2 and 3. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is the Astral Library. And we are on to week 2 of the Magical Readathon. So we are kicking this vlog off on Monday, April 8th, I think. I've already lost count of the days. This month has had such a hectic start. I don't know how I'm going to survive this quarter, but we're gonna do it. And we're gonna kick this off by hopefully finishing the book I started last week, which of course is The Assassin's Apprentice. I did end up reading a bit more of this when I last left you off in my vlog, and you can see I am almost done. I'm so close to finishing. I am on page 393 and there's like 440 something pages, so I'm right there. I'm like 50 pages away. I'm curious to see how this is going to end because shit's getting wild. But in addition to starting that book, we're also going to be starting a new book. We're going to be starting the Inheritance games. So I hope you come along on this journey and see my thoughts on both the Inheritance games and the ending of Assassin's Apprentice. Hello, I'm just eating my breakfast of champions, which is mac and cheese. And I remembered that we have the next quest line for the Magical Readathon. I didn't really share the start of the quest in last week's vlog, but let's just go ahead and jump right in. So G is doing a quest for the lore class. That is completely optional. You can just read the Legend of Dia kind of sheet, which I'll throw up on screen now, and like be done with it, or you can go on a little side quest. And so I've been on the side quest, and the newest thing just happened. So in the last installment, we found an extra page hidden on the Google Drive, and it had another clue saying to go follow the crescent to find the Everdawn, which no idea what that means. But luckily, G has posted the next step here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that little document. I'm not gonna read it out loud because I don't want to spoil the quest for anyone who's doing this, but I'm going to read it and then I'll walk you through my thought process. The next step has given us a bit of a reading challenge. So the prompt is a moon on the cover or in the title. And if I do this, I get 10 guild reputation points for my character Kaleidoscope. I don't know if I want to necessarily read something. I'm gonna see if I can try to find a graphic novel. I might be able to find a graphic novel with a moon on it. Hold please. Let me go do a perusal and then I'll come back. Okay, I found a loophole. And by loophole, I mean something that actually fits the prompt, but I haven't read in a very long time, and that is Sailor Moon. So I have the first edition, or I have the first volume of the Eternal editions, which are like my preferred way to collect these books. They're just like the perfect size for me, and they're so fucking pretty, and the paper is just like great quality. So I'm gonna read this, and that's gonna satisfy this prompt. So we'll definitely be reading this in this week's vlog as well to satisfy this prompt. I think I might pick this up as soon as I finish Assassin's Apprentice, just as like a palate cleanser, because I know I'm gonna love this and I know it's gonna be fun. And I think I might need something sweet after the end of Assassin's Apprentice, just because the way it's been going has just been hitting after hitting after hit. If I have to lose, I swear to God, I'm not trusting that woman with animals anymore. I'm not. She has taken 2 precious babies from me, and I won't get attached to a third. Okay, it's not happening. We're gonna need this to heal my heart after she's broken it so many times, and satisfy a prompt while we're at it. So I finished it. I finished the assassin's apprentice. And how dare she? Not only does this woman have the audacity to make the last, 100 pages of this book a fucking roller coaster of emotions. There's so much going on in these last 100 pages that just had me gripped. I did not want to put it down. I was just obsessed with trying to figure out what is going on because so much goes on. And typically that can be a very big turnoff because it seems like we have a lot of slow building and then just everything happens at the end of the book. It seems like poor pacing, but it's not. This book is building towards this one moment, this final political intrigue where Fitz is being sent as an assassin. The first time we're really seeing him attempt an assassination and everything fucking goes wrong. Every little thing goes wrong. There's so much conspiracies going on. I'm gonna just talk some spoilers. So if anyone who hasn't read this book and wants to read this book, I'd come back to when the screen doesn't have the word spoiler on it because I need to get my thoughts out because oh my god, Regal. Okay, I knew Regal was a little bitch, right? And I knew he would do some shit. But to go that far where he is not only lying to Shrew, but trying to kill Verdi and trying to kill Fitz, and he is a half-brother to Galen? What? Are you kidding me? What? That was a huge twist. I was not expecting that. I did not see any connection between the two of them. Nor did I think Regal was actually any sort of intelligent enough to pull out a plan this complex. In fact, I still don't think he's that intelligent. I definitely think there's more going on. I definitely saw Galen playing a bigger part in the kind of construction of this, but they have targeted Fitz so closely and so precisely, from Galen misting Fitz's mind to where he is doubting his ability to skill and thought himself unable to skill when really he has more than enough aptitude for it. And in fact, based on what Verdi was saying at the end of the book, that he is so powerful that we need to teach him so he has control over that power. That it seems to be equal to or perhaps more than the power his father had, and his father was already rather powerful in skill. And we still have this connection with wit within Fitz too, which is not explicitly confirmed, but pretty damn confirmed that Burek also has wit and has a connection to animals, which makes this whole thing that he has against it super fucking weird, because I think he must have been mistreated as a child, alright? Because that's the only reason I can see of why he is so against wit, and how he seems to have a misunderstanding of it, because when Fitz and him are arguing, Burek brings a point that he only connects with animals. And he doesn't master them. But we learn through Fitz that wit is not mastery over animals. And we learn that when he encounters a couple other pets that people have, and how he can't make a bond to them because they've already bonded to another. And his power, the wit, doesn't actually forcibly turn them into puppets anyway. They still have their own will. It just allows that connection to understand and to work together and to form these bonds. And speaking of bonds, she gave us back Nosy, which was just the biggest twist. Burek didn't kill Nosy whatsoever, but then the bitch rips Nosy away once more at the end. How can she do this? She has ripped and killed dogs 3 times. She didn't really do it the first time, but she might as well have done it because we believe Nosy was dead all this time. But then to really kill him at the end, and for the illustrators to illustrate Nosy's death, that's fucked up. That was some fucked up shit. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what Robin Hobb has against dogs, but clearly she's a dog hater, because this woman has taken away every dog that she has given us, and it's rude. I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving this a full 4 stars. The only thing that's holding it back from 5 stars is the fact that she kept killing the dogs. And I don't see a purpose to it, really, except that she's a dog hater. But on a more serious note, I would have liked to have seen this final arc where we got the most action and political intrigue to be a little bit longer. I just felt like shoving it really into the last 50 pages, if we're honest, was a little too much. I wish we would have just had time to sink into it and really see Fitz shine a little bit more in his talents, because we do definitely see him thinking through a lot of the things. We also see him failing, which makes sense because he is not a full assassin. Truly, he is still very young. I think we end the book when he's about like 16, I want to say. So he's got much to learn, and he's not going to be perfect, but I would have liked to have seen Fitz work through more of the stuff. Then we see him like struggling, and then he has an epiphany, and then everything goes to shit, and then he's like constantly running on fumes. I would have liked to establish myself a little bit more in the setting and get a slower descent into the madness. I think we needed the madness, again, to show that Fitz is not ready to be an assassin, but also to show how far this like political intrigue and betrayal will go, because that is something that Fitz learns at the end of this book, that nothing is going to be simple anymore. Things are irrevocably changing. When he has this line where when he says "my king," he is talking about Verity rather than Shrewd, because Shrewd is essentially washed up and on his deathbed, and Verity is the only one he can assumedly trust. We'll see if that's gonna stay true. Fantasy novels tell me no, but let's hope that Verity's nice. But I have a feeling Verity is going to die. So I'm hoping Robin Hobb proves me wrong, but I have a feeling she's just gonna make it hurt that much more. I am going to continue this series. I am very intrigued in how this is all going to resolve. And I'm very interested in seeing where this first trilogy is going to end, because I know that there's 5 series in this whole world and they're all interconnected and they all tell the larger story. What that story is, I don't know yet, but consider me intrigued. And I think that when I finish my Magical Readathon TBR for this month, I'm going to be picking up book 2, which I believe is the Royal Assassin. I think it's the second one. I already have it, so I could just dive straight in. But I'm excited for that. I really enjoyed this. I had so much fun with it. And I'm laughing at myself because I was so intimidated. Even though reading it, I just fell into the world. And I was not scared. The writing was super easy to understand. I think the world's really interesting, the magic's interesting, and the characters I connected to, and I'm interested in seeing more of certain characters. Though don't get attached to any dogs. I think that's the only lesson and regret I have for Robin Hobb. I was attached to every dog, and every dog was ripped away from me. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm sick of reading. Before I sat down to do that, I did reading for homework, and so my eyes are like, no more. So instead, I think I'm gonna go play some video games, and I might come back to you later tonight or tomorrow as I pick up my in-between book, which I'm going to read volume 1 of Sailor Moon. Again, this is the Eternal Edition, so I think it actually collects more than like the original volume 1, but I'm excited. I haven't read Sailor Moon in quite a while. I'm happy to dive back in. But I will see you when I have another update. Ready? Want it? Want it? Want it? Want it? Go get it. Bring it back. Hello, Riz. Oh yes, hello, Winnie.
She was so short that she barely rose to my chest, the dim light casting a greenish hue.
Hello, it is Wednesday. So I don't think I actually made any talking clips on Tuesday, just because Tuesdays are always such a long day. So I don't feel much like talking to the camera, but I believe I did record a few clips of me reading like different things. So probably the most odd one was I was in my car listening to an audiobook, and that's because I am listening to The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. So this is the Archivist book club pick. And I was unsure whether or not I was going to actually read this book, because I didn't think I had time to like sit and physically read it. And even though I have this stunning edition, right? Like, look at that. Look at those shines and then the edges. Oh, I love this book so much. But I didn't think I'd have the time to like sit and read it because it is a pretty chunky book and I wasn't sure how long the Assassin's Apprentice is gonna take me. So I didn't want to commit myself to it. But then I thought, okay, what if I did the audiobook for it? Because I have an hour's drive to school, 3 days a week. So I'm guaranteed to at least listen to 6 hours a week for this book. So let's go ahead and do that. And even then I thought, I might not be able to do it because all the digital audiobooks were checked out of the library. And I was not going to buy the audio version of this book because I already own this book and I paid good money for this book. So I didn't want to pay, if not exactly what I paid, but half of what I paid for this book for the audiobook. Was gonna do it. But I'm really lucky because my library actually has a network system. So it's all categorized under one network. So even if my specific library doesn't have it, they can get it from another one in network. And they had the physical disc for the audiobook for this book. And they had like multiple copies of it. So I just requested it and they sent it to my library and I picked it up and it's been great. I think I just started disc 5 and there's 14 discs. I think I'm somewhere around chapter 10. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea where I'm at in terms of this book necessarily, but I think I just started or I just finished chapter 10. I have to go to school tomorrow. So I will be another 3 hour or 2 hours done. So I'll have achieved my first 6 hours, give or take. Sometimes my drives are longer. So that's what that little clip was. And then you also saw me read my Sailor Moon Eternal Edition Volume 1. And I forgot how much I love Sailor Moon. Okay, I was reading this and I was just like kicking my feet, smiling the whole time because I love Sailor Moon so much. This is one of my very first animes and it's just stuck with me for so many years. I watched the 90s anime adaptation so much as a kid. Like, I watched it so much. My parents still know the theme song and they hate Sailor Moon. They think she's so whiny, which objectively she is. I will fight anyone who talks shit about Sailor Moon, okay? I love this to death, and getting to reread the opening section was just so nice because I do have some editions of Sailor Moon in the manga, but because my mom had like found them at a garage sale growing up, they're not like in order necessarily, or like, rather I'd never had the start of Sailor Moon. I think where this one ends is where my collection starts and it goes to the whole end of the first season of the anime, so its first major arc. So that was kind of fun. So now I own that and it's just reminded me how much I want to collect those editions again. So you see a book haul and you see me grabbing more Sailor Moon Eternal editions, this video is why. Miss ma'am, can you go scratch somewhere else? We got a Winnie joining us. But yeah, so those are the two things I read yesterday. So I'm really loving The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi too. I think the audiobook is really well done and I'm really just enjoying the story. Amina is such a funny fucking character and having her narration is just peak. I'm getting D&D vibes, but I'm just getting also like good straight fantasy adventure vibes, which is not something I read a ton of. I tend to read a lot of like political intrigue fantasy rather than adventure fantasy. So this is just a nice surprise. And the actual narration is really helping me because my biggest issue with audiobooks is my attention just tends to wander. I can't focus enough on an audiobook because my brain will just go wee somewhere else. So listening to it while I'm driving is good because I'm literally stuck on a highway for an hour. There's nothing to grab my attention besides how angry I am that I'm in traffic. So that helps. But also the narrator is doing a great job of just like captivating the voice of the characters. So there's two narrators. There's a woman who just narrates the bulk of it and she'll have like different variations in her voice when she's talking to where she's voicing different characters. And then there's a second male narrator that comes in and acts as the scribe for the story that kind of tells us a little more background information, a little more myths and legends. So those two playing off each other really help just like engage my mind when it does start to drift every now and again. But other than that, I think I've been enjoying everything I've been reading. Even though we still have to talk, Robin Hobb. Still mad at you, okay? But today, I do plan on starting a new book, and that is going to be Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I have the Barnes & Noble, like, exclusive edition they did. So it's got this, like, pretty foiling, and it's got these, like, sprayed edges. And I think it's got something on the cover, yeah. So it's got I'm gonna just take this off now. It's got this green cover with the key and then just the title on the spine. So I think I'm going to start this. I don't think it's gonna be hard because it's not that big of a book. I think it's like 300 something pages and the text looks like decently big. Like it doesn't look big on camera, but I promise you in person it looks pretty big. So I think I'm going to fly by this because I believe this is also YA. So it should be relatively easy. I'm hoping for something easy, sweet, and fun. Something captivating and nothing that's gonna hurt my brain too much because I'm still tired and it's been a ton of meetings today. So like my brain can't handle any more information like that. It needs just something easy and breezy. That's what I'm gonna go do. I'll go ahead and catch you guys up in the next update. Nothing beats a root beer on a warm day. But hello everyone. It is directly the next day. It's Thursday about 2:35. It's relatively early the next day. I got back home, I want to say an hour ago. I grabbed some food, I sat down and I ate, and I just thought I'd update you guys before I started reading again. So I ended up getting halfway through the Inheritance games last night. I'm on page 202, so like right there. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying this book. I don't think it's anything impressive necessarily, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think the writing's done well enough. I am intrigued in the mystery, like what is going on? Why is Avery chosen? How is she a part of this game? What do all the brothers have to do with it? Like what is the point of this huge riddle with the Hawthorns? That's got me super intrigued. I can't say I'm like rooting for any particular romance. I think she's gonna end up with Grayson, because that's just how these books tend to go. Like he's the most antagonistic towards her and he's the one we met first. So I'm thinking he's the love interest. I can't say for sure, nor do I really have like romance I want her to go for. I'm not rooting for anyone in this book per se, besides Avery. I want her to kick everyone's ass and to like prove them wrong, that she's the badass and she's able to figure out everything. That's what I want for her. Other than that, I'm just having fun with it. I remember sitting down last night and just like really just devouring this book page after page. I was like, what is going on? Let's go. What is this weird house? What is this grander mystery? I wanted to know. Probably actually go out and buy books 2 and 3 just so I can have them and I can blow through them. Because if they're as fun and as fast as this one, I know I'm gonna finish them really quickly. So I'm actually gonna probably finish this today. I don't have any plans and my roommate's not supposed to come home. So theoretically, I have nothing to do tonight but just sit and read, which is gonna be great because that's what I want to do. I want to sit and read this book. I gotten farther in my audiobook. I'm now on chapter 15, maybe? I'm at the part where Amina has just gotten all her old crew back together and they're traveling to this like remote pirate island that's super dangerous because real pirates run it and anyone who comes into like vicinity of it, they like kill. But as they're exploring this island, of course they run into Amina's 4th husband, who is a demon. And so where I left off, we were just getting the backstory of how Amina met her husband. So I'm still really enjoying that book and I'm still really enjoying the audiobook. It definitely makes my drives a lot more fun. I'm excited to see what's going on more with that. The problem is with these audiobooks is, I want to continue, but I only have the physical disc and I don't have a CD player anywhere else in my house. We're just gonna have to let that go unless I actually pick it up and physically read it, which I don't think I want to do. I think I want to listen to the audiobooks because that's the only way I think I'm gonna really sink my teeth into it and make sure I finish it. Because if I read it physically, either I'm gonna devour it and then I have these CDs for nothing, or I'm going to like start it and then I'll put it off because I have to read other things. So I'm gonna leave it to the audiobook and just leave it, like anticipate the next time I have to go driving somewhere. I think I'm gonna read more of the Inheritance games because I really want to know what's going on. And I got home and I was like excited to see this book sitting on my coffee table. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I will catch you when I have another update. So I finished the Inheritance games and I may have just purchased books 2 and 3 because if you've read the books and you know the ending, you have to continue on. You have to continue on. Though, and I'm gonna go into spoilers here. Big spoiler tag on screen. Come back if you don't want to know what this book is about. You don't want to be spoiled. Come back when the spoiler tag is gone. The ending where they're like, oh, find the missing son, essentially. I guessed that. I did guess it. I was like, okay, Harry's someone important. Either I was gonna be like, oh, the grandfather's not actually dead, it's actually Harry, but then we saw pictures of him, like, okay, it's not that, but Harry's someone. And I don't remember when I made the connection, but at one point I was like literally sitting and reading. I was like, oh, you know what? Harry's gonna be Toby the second. What that means in terms of this grander scheme of things, I'm not sure. It has the potential to be really interesting or to get really boring because we have this whole mystery surrounding Emily, which was resolved, and how she was just kind of awful and she was like dating both the brothers. And now that's put Avery in a situation where I think she has more chemistry with Grayson than she does Jameson, just because I think Jameson's a little too immature for her, even though they're the same age. But I don't know. I like Grayson more than I like Jameson. No, I'm team Avery though. Like, I could care less who she goes with, honestly, because like team her all the way. Let her live life peacefully and travel because that's all she wants. And I feel like the Nash's warning to her at the very beginning that she's either the ballerina or the knife that they're telling us over and over again. I think that's like so hard. Like she's been through so much shit, and then she has to come and get thrown into these like overly dramatic rich people drama, and she's kind of like, fuck me, right? I'm interested in seeing where this story is going to go. Some thoughts and theories I have is that Avery has some sort of connection to Harry or Toby. I'm gonna call him Harry because Toby's a stupid name. If your name's Toby, I'm sorry. I don't mean it really. But I think Harry is gonna have some sort of connection to her other than the fact that they play chess. I do think like the fact that she's like nice to him and feeding him and doing everything she can while she's suffering is probably a big part in why Avery was chosen. But I do think the connection goes deeper than that. I don't know what the connection's going to be. We are getting teased that her mother has a secret about her birth. So that's gonna come into play. So maybe Harry's her actual father. Who knows? That's all interesting. I had fun reading this book. Again, I don't think it's like the most interesting thing I've ever read or it's the best written, but I had a ton of fun reading this book, and that's all you need sometimes. I had a lot of fun. I flew through this book, which is always so great, especially it reminds me how much I love like a mystery thriller element, and this book was just like everything I wanted from it. And it makes me want to go watch Knives Out, actually. So I might do that tonight because I have the taste for it. I really want to pick up the next 2 books or like the next book, but I was good. I set the order for later so I can get some digital credits. Honestly, this is Barnes & Noble's fault because if Barnes & Noble had these in stock in hardcover, I would have gone and grabbed them today and we would have been reading book 2 right here and now. But alas, I just have to sit with my thoughts on book 1, which again, I adored it. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I think the only thing holding this back is it's a little too melodramatic for me. I do think that the YA-ness of these characters comes across very clearly in the story, which is fine. It's a YA book, but I'm learning more and more that YA as a genre isn't doing a ton for me anymore. I still really enjoy them here and there, but as a whole, I think I am definitely leaning more into the adult genre. That's what I'm finding I'm connecting a little bit more. But still, this was so much fun, and I'm very much looking forward to reading the next 2 books. I do not think I will read the spin-off series that she's creating. I think I'm just gonna stick to the core story with Avery, and she's doing like a spin-off series between Jameson and Grayson, which I don't care about, so I'm not gonna read them. I'm just gonna read the core story, and that will be great for my wallet, so I will not be buying more books, but also for the fact that I should call this whole challenge, this challenge of making me read more series. By the end of the Magical Readathon, I'll have started 3 new series. The Robin Hobb Farseer series, this series, and then the next book I'm reading is All of Us Villains, which is a duology. So I'm just racking up that series count. I should be finishing more series this year. Am I? No, I am not. So it goes with reading. I like having a full library and I like having a lot of series, so it's no skin off my back, truly. But I think I'm done reading for the day. I think I'm gonna give my brain just time to relax for the rest of the evening. But I will see you guys in the next update. gonna go ahead and cut this vlog here. I think we did quite a bit this time. I ended up not reading any books, so the only two books we actually finished in this vlog were the last 100 or so pages of Assassin's Apprentice, and then we read the entirety of the Inheritance games. And as you saw in, I think, the last clip, I did buy the other two books. They have arrived. They're all the same size, and I might be binging book 2 today. We'll have to see for that one, because I do still have to edit this for release day on Monday. So you bet your girl is going to be reading more of this series, because I am invested. I need to know what's going on. What is the mystery element? I don't even care about the romances, to be honest. I want to know what the mystery is. You probably will see me reading at least book 2 in the next vlog, so stay tuned for that. And I thought it also would be kind of fun. Oh, there went the sun. It's very cloudy here in California. It's a rainy couple of days, so we'll just have to kind of work that out with the sun. But another thing I did today that I thought would be kind of fun to show you guys is I went to a flea market here in Pasadena, and I got 2 art prints. So the first I got is this one of Little Tokyo. See if we can get it without the glare. See, it's so pretty, of like this night market in Little Tokyo. I'm obsessed with this one. I love the colors. I think the art's great. It's from McClelland Media. I'll be sure to put the link to where this art is from, because it's so pretty. And then the other one I got, same artist, is of Riverside. See if we can get this without the glare. This is a beautiful sunset. I'm also drawn to like the sunsetty colors in this one. It's so pretty. I think I'll put this one in my kitchen, and then this one might hang out in the living room. I might put this in my little nook for my book reading area, so that will be fun. Another thing I got, not at the flea market, but was a gift from my friend's roommate, is she gave us this Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom like canvas print. So it's so pretty, and it's textured, and this will also go in my reading nook. I'm 100% honest on that one, because I don't know exactly where to put this, but I'm thinking that little nook will be perfect for it. So, or maybe even in the opposite corner. I haven't decided firmly where this is going, but it will go somewhere. But that's it for the vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you made it this far, go ahead and leave me a dog emoji for all the dogs that were sprinkled throughout this vlog. I hope you got to enjoy seeing Winnie and Dolores in their natural habitat of annoying me, but also being super adorable. But again, that's it for me. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, consider leaving a thumbs up and subscribing. I love hearing from you guys and getting to talk about books. It's my favorite part of the day. I love seeing each and every one of your comments, and I'm so glad we've made this community here. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!